If you like artifacts in Modern, boy do we have some news for you. Welcome back to my channel. I am Mattcaster Mage and I do make Magic the Gathering content every single day. So if you're new to the channel, why don't you hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my content? And with that being said, let's jump right into these spoilers. So the first card I wanted to talk about on the list is Persist. Now this card is a 1 colorless, 1 black sorcery, which is a rare, and you can return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. Now, there is a lot of cards in Modern that are non-legendary creatures that you can actually bring back to the battlefield for 2 mana. That's really powerful. Now think about all the, the Reanimator abilities in Modern. There's not a lot, not like Legacy. We don't have Exhume. We don't have Entomb. We don't have, well, I guess Unearth. We do have Unearth now. That was from the last Modern Horizons. But this is just another, thing that we can actually add to the toolkit of Reanimator abilities. And I think this card will have very, very powerful effects in Modern. The next card I wanted to talk about is Karmic Guide. This is a card that we got in the Urza's block. It's a fantastic card. 3 colorless, 2 white for a creature, Angel's Spirit. Now this card is a 2/2, but it has flying and protection from black. Now there's a lot of black decks in Modern. That color is one of the probably most popular colors in that format. Now it has Echo ability of 3 colorless and 2 white. So when Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So now that's another Reanimator ability. So we have another Reanimator card. It looks like we're going to be getting a lot of kind of maybe power in Stoneblade, maybe some power in Mardu, but there is a lot of Reanimator abilities coming in here that I'm just blown away by. We could be seeing a lot of Esper control out of this as well. Now the next card I wanted to talk about was a card that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty powerful card. So it's Titania, Protector of Argoth. Now this is a legendary creature elemental. It's a mythic. It was originally printed in Commander 2014. Now this card has the ability, when Titania, Protector of Argoth enters the battlefield, return target land card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Now whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental creature token. Very powerful ability. I'm not sure if this will be seeing play in Modern. I mean, it's nice that they introduced it into Modern as a potential, playable card. However, being a 5 casting cost spell, it's not really going to have the same fact. It's just not really going to have the same ability as you would be able to just cast like a Death Shadow or a Tarmogoyf. It's not really going to see a lot of play. It's also 5/3, so it can be bolted, and any creature that's got 3 toughness, especially if you're casting it for 5 mana, it's not really something that is going to be seeing a lot of play, I don't think, in Modern, but still a very powerful card, and it's interesting that we did get it included in this set. Now the next card is Moderation. Yes, this is an enchantment. It is an Azorius enchantment, 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue for a you can't cast more than 1 spell each turn, and whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. So interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to be played out. This could see some play in maybe Azorius control decks, maybe Esper control, potentially. But, so, it's a little bit interesting that whenever you cast a spell, you draw cards. That's really good, so you're getting card draw. However, you can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Now, that's going to be a little bit of a drawback, but you're not really playing too many spells in a control deck. Usually you kind of want to sit back, collect your cards and kind of just keep your opponent from playing. Usually that's the way control decks do work. But this could still see play, maybe as a sideboard card in Modern. I'm not too sure. We're going to have to take a closer look at that later. This one was an uncommon that I want to talk about now. It's called Strike It Rich. Now this is a sorcery, a 1 red sorcery, and it has create a treasure token. And so essentially what that is, it's an artifact with sacrifice, and you can add 1 color of any mana to your mana pool. And then it's got flashback for 2 colors and 1 red. So basically that means you could play it again for that flashback cost, but then you have to exile the card afterwards. Now, I could see this maybe being played in maybe some sort of prowess deck, maybe some decks that you get some sort of ability for playing non-creature spells. Maybe even a Storm deck, possibly, I'm not sure, but it's nice to see the flashback ability in there. It could see some play. in Modern. It is the type of card that I could see entering a lot of decks, you know, as maybe a sideboard card, but also it could just, you know, be an inclusion in like another Storm deck or something. So here's another one. This is the card that I was blown away to see this in, you know, being introduced into Modern. This is Goblin Engineer. It's a 1 colorless, 1 red creature Goblin Artificer. This rare has whenever Goblin Engineer enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. And then for 1 red mana, you can tap it, sacrifice an artifact, then you can return target artifact card from your converted mana cost with 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Well, let's just think about that. So we had Void Mirror that was just, you know, introduced into Modern Horizons. That's another card that was spoiled. We also have Any Sword. So you can have any sword in the graveyard, and then you can basically just put it into your hand. So it's tutoring for swords, which is, you know, Stoneblade. We have a lot of Mardu artifact builds, but I think this is going to be one of those cards that decks can be even made around this card. It can probably walk straight into a few decks, but I think a lot of decks can be created just from this card. You know, having a playset of this thing, this is a very, very powerful ability. You know, tutoring for artifacts, very, very powerful. I think this is going to shake things up in the format, but I want to know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of the Modern Horizons 2 spoilers that we just got today, and I'll be sure to read that and reply. Wow, this is crazy. Modern Horizons 2 is it's still going. It feels like every day I have to jump on the computer, and whenever I see more spoilers that I think are cards that are going to potentially not break the format, but some definitely could. But I mean, cards that are just going to be straight into decks, or decks that are going to be built around these cards, and that's what I wanted to actually talk about today. Very, very powerful. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video, and maybe we'll have more spoilers tomorrow. Okay, take care. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys, and also to my coffee fund, because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.